Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. I'm Kerry. Today I'll be showing you how to crochet a picnic blanket, which I'll be attaching to my teddy bear's picnic blanket, and I'll be sitting a family of teddies and some food on the blanket. And there's some of the teddies I'll be attaching to the blanket. I'll be using 4-ply crochet cotton. I've got the light blue as my main colour. The darker blue is my first contrast and the white is my second contrast. I've got a 1.25mm crochet hook, the darning needle to weave in the ends, and scissors. Now my main colour is this light blue here. I use it in every row, and my first contrast is the darker blue. It's only used in the first and every odd number row. The second contrast, the white, is used in the even number rows. Now I start with the main colour, the light blue, and I work 90 chain. Now there's my 90 chain. You could use this pattern to make a large blanket if you'd like. Now for row 1, we miss the first 3 chain and work 1 double crochet into each of the following 3 stitches. A double crochet is called a treble in the UK. For a double crochet, we put the yarn around the hook, hook into the stitch, which will be the 4th one from the hook, and bring through a loop, yarn around the hook, take the hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops, yarn around the hook, hook with the yarn through the remaining 2 loops. And we need 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Now we join in our first contrast colour. So for me it's the dark blue. And we work one double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. And I'm going to hold the main colour against my work and crochet over the top of it. Now I've got my 3 double crochet. Now I change to my main colour and I hold my first contrast colour against my work and crochet over the top of it. And I work 1 double crochet into each of the following 3 stitches. And then I change to my first contrast colour and work 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. And I'm crocheting over the top of my main colour. I'll always crochet over the top of the yarn I'm not using. And I repeat like that, working 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches with my main colour. And then changing to the contrast and working 1 double crochet into the following 3 stitches with the contrast colour. And that's what the first row will look like. I'll continue working along the row and I'll meet you at the end of the row. There's the first row done. To make a bigger blanket or a smaller blanket, you just have to make sure that the amount of chain you have can be divided by 6. Now I'm going to be cutting off my contrast colours after each row because I'd find it difficult to have the 2 lots going, so I'll cut the darker blue off and I'll join in my white, my second contrast colour. So I just join it in like that at the end and I'll work 3 chain with my white. And then I turn and I work 1 double crochet into each of the first 3 stitches. I'm going to crochet over the blue, the light blue, the main colour, because I'll be using it next. So 1 double crochet into each of the first 3 stitches with my second contrast colour. And then I start using my main colour, so I bring it up to the top and work 1 double crochet into each of the following 3 stitches, and I'm working over the top of my white, my second contrast colour. And then I bring up my white and work 1 double crochet into each of the following 3 stitches, working over my main colour. And then using my main colour, I work 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. And then I just continue right across the row. So I'll continue across this row, and I'll be back when I get to the end of the row. Now that's row 2 done. For row 3 we start with 3 chain using our main colour, and then fasten off the white, our second contrast, and we'll be joining in the dark blue, my first contrast. So I turn my work and work 1 double crochet into each of the first 3 stitches. And join my darker blue and work 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, working over my light blue. And then change to my light blue, my main colour, and work 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. And then just continue across the row. working 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches with my first contrast colour, and then 1 double crochet into each of the following 3 stitches with my main colour. So I'll continue across this row, and I'll be back when I get to the end. Now that's row 3 done, so I'll fasten off the darker blue, and I join in my white, my second contrast, and work 3 chain. And turn my work, and I work 1 double crochet into each of the first 3 stitches, and I'm crocheting over the blue, my main colour. I'm just pulling it a bit tighter. And then change to my main colour and work 1 double crochet into the following 3 stitches. And then work 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches with my white, my second contrast colour. And then 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches with my main colour. And I just continue like that, repeating row 2 and 3 until my work measures the desired amount. Mine will be almost square, so I'll continue with the blanket, and I'll be back when I've finished the main part of the blanket, and we'll start on a border. Now the blanket's the desired length, and I end with a row 3, so the same row as I begin with. So I'll fasten off, and I'll weave in those ends, and I'll be back and we'll do a border around it. Now my ends are all finished off. I'm using the white, my second contrast, for the border, so I'm going to join in any stitch around the edge. And work 1 chain. And I'm going to work a single crochet into each stitch along the sides. A single crochet is called a double crochet in the UK. For a single crochet, you put your hook into the stitch and bring through a loop, yarn around the hook and take your hook with the yarn at the end through both loops. Now I'm crocheting over the tail, so I'm holding it against my work and crocheting over the top of it. Now into the corner stitch I work one single crochet, one chain and one single crochet. And then I work one single crochet into each stitch down the side, and I just continue like that, working a single crochet into each stitch on the sides, and one single crochet, one chain and one single crochet into each corner stitch. And then I join with a slip stitch in the top of the first stitch. So I'll complete this and I'll be back to show you the finished blanket. And there's my finished picnic blanket. I'm looking forward to making some other appliques to go on my teddy bear's picnic blanket. If you've liked my video, please like, subscribe and share. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest and Twitter. The details are in the description below, along with the details of my website, where I have my patterns, the details of my Facebook group and the details of my Patreon account. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.